Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Hi everybody, Ezra Levant here. It's December 21st. What a pleasure to see you again. I can't even believe how quickly the time is going. It's December 21. That means there's just 10 days left in the year, a year that was stolen by the coronavirus. But I can't blame a virus. A virus is morally neutral. It's not like a person. It doesn't have a conscience. It doesn't know right and wrong. It's just a thing. It's like a bacterium. It's like, some animals, I suppose, do know right and wrong. The animals, I think, are a higher order. But you can't blame a virus. It's the people you can blame. And by that, I mean, I don't know the origin or provenance of the virus, and we don't need to engage in conspiracy theories, but we know the geographical origin of the virus, namely Wuhan, China. And we know the vector by which that virus spread, namely that China shut down travel from Wuhan to the rest of China, to Beijing, Shanghai, and other places, but China never shut down travel from Wuhan to around the world. And China lied about it and covered up, much like the Soviet Union covered up the Chernobyl disaster, except Chernobyl's main victims were other people in Russia, Ukraine, other Soviet socialist republics. The main victims of the Wuhan virus are, if you believe the statistics, in other parts of the world, especially the West. So a stolen year, but I was an early follower of this virus because I follow a lot of dissident style videos out of China. So I saw extreme lockdowns, extremely bizarre actions, and I was deeply worried. But my worries have changed because what I saw from China that alarmed me was the human response, the political response. Obviously, I could not see with my eyes the virus. You can't see a virus on a video. And all those fears have been founded, not the virus itself, which is a bad flu year, which, unlike the flu, targets almost exclusively senior citizens. I'm not saying that those lives are worth any less than others, but it's not a general virus of general alarm. It's for a certain group of people who have certain vulnerability. The fact that Donald Trump, who's 74 years old and a bit tubby, recovered from the coronavirus over a weekend. The fact that Rudy Giuliani, who I think is even older, a little bit tubby, smokes cigars, recovered in a couple days, tells you a little bit about this virus. And yet we've shut down the world as we have never done before. I follow the UK quite closely for reasons of affection and habit. And I should tell you that the UK was never shut down like this, not even during the Blitz, not even during the Battle of Britain. It was not shut down this way then. It was never shut down this way during the Cold War, during the nuclear standoff with the Soviet Union during the Cold War, during the Berlin crisis, during any crisis. It was never like this. And so I focus my wording and become more accurate and tell you that it wasn't a virus that destroyed 2021. It was politicians that either used the virus as a weapon or that used the virus as an opportunity to do their will, whether it was to harm the West, to seize power, to indulge their inner bully. And I have so many videos for you today that are so irritating. And my goal is not to irritate you, and it's not to be alarmist, but it is to sound the alarm for what is happening. And I say again, every video you will see today, and I have quite a few, we're going to start with the one from the nursing home. We're going to have one from a Florida library, a Calgary mall, a Calgary rally, and of course, Ocean Weisblatt, the hockey player from Calgary, who was threatened with a taser because he was skating on an outdoor rink that was open to the public for skating. The city of Calgary zambonied. You know, for our foreign viewers, Zamboni is the name we give to that ice resurfacer. So this wasn't just some backyard pond that was frozen over. This was an actual park. I think it was in Southwood, not far away from where I used to live in Calgary. Nice community. People go skate on, and it was a sign that it was open. The city zambonied it, so they resurfaced it to make it nice and smooth. And some cops come screaming profanities with tasers? Absolutely. I said we're going to start with the nursing home video, so we should. I see the super chats coming through. I'll get to them. Just an FYI. And by the way, can you do me a favor? Can you share this video right now? I want to show you some vids. There's about 1,000 people watching now. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can just bump up the viewership a tiny bit before I play the vids, because these vids are so important. I want maximum people to see it. Can you do me a favor? Just take a second. Click like if you like it. Click that thumbs up button. But can you just take 1 second and share this vid? Let's just get a few more folks in here. On the Super Chat side, it's a pleasure to have you Super Chatting. We had about a day or two without the Super Chat function as we switched multi-channel networks. I want to let you know that we're taking a short break over Christmas. Would you agree with me that our whole team has worked full tilt, like so hard all year? And, you know, we just had a staff meeting this morning. We all really, really want to keep doing the news. But we do have to take a break. I mean, you have to, right? No one can work without a break. And Christmas time's a good time to take a break. I know the news is very steady and urgent, and we will have updates and things like that through the Christmas break. But we're not going to have daily live streams like this. And so we'll be off for, I don't know, about 10 days or so. I'll probably wind up doing some ad hoc live streams just on my phone. But we're going to give people a bit of a rest. Would you agree with me that people have gone so full tilt? All right, thanks for clicking like and share, everybody. Let's get right to it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos here today. That's going to take up the whole show. This next video is from the United Kingdom, but it could be from anywhere. Watch this and try not to get angry. Well, I shouldn't say that. You should get angry. Why should you control your impulse, your emotive response? Rather, take that anger and think, well, what can I do constructively about it? Look at the world we're in, and I say again, the virus did not do this. People did this. Take a look.
Well, right. Well, can I tell you, for the record, that her colour is very poor. You know, she's quite blue around the lips, and her breathing is quite fast, and that's, to me, that is a cause for concern.
Well, like I say, we've not had any concerns with the.
Well, I know, but you never do have concerns for her. Do you know, with respect, you don't. You know, I understand you're doing your best, but, you know, I can see that my mother is not well just by looking at her through the window.
Well, all I can suggest is that you ring up on Monday morning.
Well, what do you mean I ring up on Monday morning? That's 2 whole days away.
Well, like I say, I'm not the manager. So
You're not the manager, but I mean, I'm reporting. Hang on a minute, just a minute before you go. I am asking you. I want this doctor. Hang on a minute. Don't take her away. Hey! Don't take her away. Don't take her away. Don't take her away. You bastards. You absolute bastards. Oh, God.
Do you think that's the only time that's happened, that video there? Or do you think that has happened 1,000 times? Or do you think that's happened 100,000 times? The virus didn't do that. People did that. Are you angry? I'm angry. I don't even know who that is. That's not even in my country, and I am angry. You know, sometimes when I see things like that in the United Kingdom, I say, would that be possible in a country that has what's called in the United States the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, the right to firearms? And I'm not saying that someone would bust in there guns blazing and liberate grandma, although, frankly, why is she basically under kidnap? Why is she basically a hostage? So I certainly don't mean that, but when you have the saying, an armed society is a polite society, because everybody has to be a little more consensual. Everybody has to be a little bit better behaved, because you can't get away with things, because there is a certain breaking point. And I occasionally am in places, in Israel, for example. I haven't been in a while. But people are slinging guns, guns and holsters, guns. I feel extremely safe because I know there's not going to be shenanigans. And I think to myself sometimes, is the fact that the United Kingdom has been disarmed, does that make them more passive compliant? And what's that lady going to do? What's she going to do? Bang on the window a bit? She'll be arrested. Oi, mate, where's your license for talking to your mum through a plate of glass, mate? Except they would say lass instead of mate. But that is not always true, because let me show you a video that I believe is from Florida in the United States of America, where the Second Amendment is certainly in effect. And the lady with a gun here, is telling someone in a library. They're sending a cop with a gun to a library on mask patrol. Take a look at this.
We were doing the whole time we were in here.
911 has time for that?
No, so please, I just want to sit here and
I can't sit here
read.
with you while your son reads, okay? We are 911. We are first responders.
Okay,
we have
so
other calls that we have to go to.
I wasn't bothering anybody, madam.
Okay, I think it's time for you to wrap up and leave for today. I think coming back another day may be your best option, because today is not good.
Why?
Because you've clearly caused a disturbance and there's an issue.
No, they just called because I wouldn't put a mask on. I wasn't causing any disturbance. I wasn't raising my voice. I wasn't yelling at anybody.
Okay, that's fine.
I wasn't.
Okay. Today.
I'm not trying to...
Okay, get your books. You can check out your books and you can leave. Okay?
I'm not breaking any laws.
You're about to be if you do not leave.
What law would I be breaking?
Because you're causing a disturbance.
I'm not.
In a public place.
I'm not causing a disturbance.
Okay. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you.
What is your name?
I'll give you my name. I'll give you a card. You need to get your son and check out your books, and you can come back another day. This is not a good example.
Listen, how is this going to be documented? Because I was not causing a disturbance.
There's going to be a report done, ma'am. There's going to be a report, and you can get a report number, and you can take it to your attorney.
But I was not causing a
Please get your
disturbance.
stuff. Please get your stuff before you get trespassed.
It's the country that we live in now. This is straight up discrimination. Come on, Tammy. It's mandates are not laws, just so you know. And I guess you don't know that.
Your pencil.
First of all, I get nervous when I see slight female police going extreme threat with guns. And here's what I mean by that. I'm not against women police. But as you'll see in this next video, if a policeman or woman does not have charisma and authority, does not have a sort of a command to them that commands respect, if they can't just say do this and do that and have people comply, and this woman complied this library goer complied too quickly. If you've got a 6'4", 200 and something pound cop, he has a presence, do this, do that, leave now, whatever, and people just sort of comply. It's human nature, it's animal nature. And if you don't comply, he could theoretically use his hands to make you comply. And only if that didn't work might he resort to a taser, or might he resort, God forbid, to a gun. But when you have a 110-pound woman, not a 210-pound man, when you have a 5'0", 110-pound woman who's a police officer, who is not persuasive, does not have the air of authority and command amongst them, on them, does not have charisma and the ability to get people to do voluntarily what she wants. What then? Now in this case, she was picking on a mom and a kid, so she wouldn't have much problem. But you have a 110-pound cop going up against a 200-pound bad guy. It ain't going to work. You're not going to wrestle him down. You'll get hurt. So you too quickly have to escalate to your weapons, to a taser or a gun. You might know the history of policing. We've talked about this before. Policing used to be very political. Whenever the mayor would change, the policeman would change. Patronage jobs. And so especially in New York City, to stop some of the ridiculous patronage where this guy's weak brother or that guy's 5'2" nephew, or they would have height standards and weight standards, and they had basic training. To get away from that, well, affirmative action has ended that. So the problem with that woman there was that cop, I think she was a cop, was not that she was engendering no respect or command. Not that she obviously didn't know the law. Creating disturbance, she was the one creating the disturbance, wasn't she? You go in like RoboCop. Who was the one who had the loud voice? There was no one else in the library, by the way, besides her and her son. I don't know if you noticed. So she commands no respect from the people, and for good reason. She doesn't know the law. She was asked to identify herself. She refused to. She said, "Oh, I'll get you a card later." That's not how it works, sister. That's not how it works. And now the mom and her kid left the library, but the problem is, what if she didn't? You would have seen a taser or even a gun present. And the reason I know that is because that's exactly what happened in my original city of my birth, my spiritual hometown of Calgary, when a hockey player with the interesting name of Ocean Weisblatt. There's a bunch of hockey players in the Weisblatt family. There's Ocean, Ozzy, Oasis, and there's another O word. Orca. Are those cool names or what? I think there might be a fifth kid. Imagine you got a bunch of kids. Let me rattle that off again. Oasis, Ocean, Ozzy, and Orca. Bunch of kids, good boys, play hockey. I think 4 of them played like really serious hockey, including Ocean. So they're out at this rink I was telling you about before. Public skating, it's open. Mayor says it's cool. City says it's cool. City Zamboni's the rink, no problem. Everything's kosher. Well, instead of letting me tell it to you, why don't I play for you the exclusive video that we released yesterday. Kian Bexty in Calgary met up with Ocean. That's about a 13-minute video, is that right? 12-minute video? Well, let's see if that's a long video to watch, but I think it's worth it. I might cut it off if it goes a bit long. Let me show you, and there's a lot of things going on here. There's cops who don't know the law. There's female cops who are too physically weak to do their job and have no charismatic control of the situation around them, and thus reach for their weapon bizarrely quickly. There's a lot of things going on here. I'll just throw one more wrinkle at you. Ocean and his brothers, they speak English fine, they're born in Canada. Their mom is deaf, so actually the first language of these boys is sign language. You learn language a bit different when your mom's deaf. And I don't know, I'm not a doctor, and I don't know Ocean's situation enough, so this is some speculation on my part. But in the interaction with you got these cops screaming at him with masks on. So you're a kid, you're a baby, you're a child growing up in a deaf household. You lip read, you sign. I'm not saying he doesn't know English, I'm not saying that. But I am sort of saying English is his second language. And I'm sort of saying that when you're being screamed at by someone with a mask on, and you're saying, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And you're not being told what you did wrong. When a couple of out of control affirmative action gender quota cops are pulling out their tasers, and there's a scene where they're trying to kick him. Like he's standing there. And these 2 lady cops are just kicking him, and they can't even wobble the guy. Like, it's sort of pitiful. So they kick him and they try and pull the tasers, and he's just saying, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And these cops lack any emotional self-control. They lack any knowledge about the law. He's saying, what did I do wrong? And they never answer him. They lack any common sense about de-escalating the situation. And frankly, by the time they turn their sights on Ocean, there's no one else on the patch of ice. So it's not a gathering anymore. It's literally a guy by himself on a piece of ice. What are you charging him with? It's not even a gathering. So their own frustration, their own incompetence, their own rage, these lady cops who were clearly promoted based on their gender rather than their skill, lose control. They're the ones swearing at Ocean. An absolute disgrace. Enough from me. Here, play the video of Kian.
Down on the ground. Why are you guys grabbing? Dude, you guys just need to. Why are you guys grabbing?
Hey, orcs.
Not pulling it, okay? Ocean, get on the ground.
Ocean.
Get on the ground. Why are you guys?
Get on the ground right now.
Ocean.
Guys,
please.
Get on the ground before I taser you.
Ocean.
Right now.
Why are you tasering?
It was crazy. Like, I was so shocked. Like, I came out here to play hockey and I got arrested for playing hockey. Like, I'm gonna have kids one day, I'm gonna tell my kids that I got arrested for playing hockey. Like, that just sounds nuts. Like, there's murders happening in this world, there's rape, there's sex trafficking, there's all these different things. Like, really bad things that are happening in this world. And we're getting punished to play hockey, playing sports outside.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just ridiculous. Like,
Kian Bexte for Rebel News at an outdoor rink that you might be familiar with if you've seen the video that went viral of a young man by the name of Ocean Weisblatt. He was violently arrested by the Calgary Police Service for having the audacity of skating on this very rink behind me. He was skating with a few friends and some ne'er-do-well Calgarian who was just furious that there was kids having fun outside on a winter's day. Well, he reported them to the Calgary Police Service and then tweeted about it. Now, this account that tweeted about it, saying that they had reported it, well, he deleted their account. They were probably ashamed of themselves. Now, I'm here today to speak to Ocean to see exactly what went on and why the mainstream media's reporting of what happened was so wrong. See, the Calgary police, they pulled out a taser on this young man after he approached them when they were interrogating children about the gathering that was happening on the ice. Now, keep in mind, they're allowed to gather on this ice. The mayor, Calgary's radical mayor, Naheed Nenshi, has said it was actually fine. He just said don't make the gatherings too big. And the gathering that day wasn't big. According to Ocean, there was only 15 people on the ice when this happened, and they were all distanced, just playing a game of hockey. Now we're going to speak with Ocean and get his side of the story, something that the mainstream media just hasn't done for some reason.
So, me and the boys, you know, we were just going out to the outdoor rink as usual, and you know, winter sports. We all headed out here to Southwood, where we play outdoor rink hockey, and just, you know, we came to play hockey just like another day, and peace officer came by and just technically just gave us a warning that 2 cops were going to come. And then everyone started, a lot of people started just running away, and then me and like 4 other guys, we just said, you know, like, we're playing hockey, like this is outrageous with all this COVID stuff, and not letting us play hockey, not letting us go outdoors, but they're gonna have all these indoor buildings opening up, all these indoor social gatherings, and it's, you know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And we were just playing hockey, so we decided to stay and not run away from the cops. And the cops came by, and me and the boys were just sitting over there by the bench, and then I just saw like these kids getting they were being talked to by the cops, and then I didn't know what was said, but like I just felt like I had to go over there just because it was a younger crowd, so just as an older person, just making sure like everything's okay. So I just went over there, didn't know what was going on, but just asked the cop, you know, just like, you know, pretty much just told her like I'm not sure what's going on with these COVID rules, like everything indoors open, like you guys got all the malls open, you got all these businesses open, but like can't let us play hockey out here. And it doesn't make sense. Everyone's skiing, everyone's doing all these winter sports, and it's life. It's what we should be doing. We should be enjoying life. Like, we only get one life, and you should be doing what you want to do in life. And you know, I asked her that, and then she said I was breaking the what is it called?
Public health orders.
Yeah, public health orders. Yeah, and yeah, apparently I was breaking one of the public health orders, and I wasn't aware of that. You know, I kind of just got off news, got off social media, just because everything's just on social media is crazy. It's all negative, so I just wanted to get off that. So just came out to play like another hockey day, and she said I was breaking the Public Health Act, and I just asked, like, what was I breaking, and she didn't tell me. She just said I was just breaking Public Health Act.
But that's strange to me, because even Mayor Nenshi, this like radical mayor who really sort of seems to enjoy rubbing this into like salt in the wound of his people, he said that it's fine to play hockey as long as it's not too big.
Yeah.
And from what you told me earlier, there was only 15 people on the rink. And by the time the police were really getting testy with you,
yeah,
you were the last one on the rink.
Yeah.
So what public health order could you possibly have been breaking at that moment when they decided to pull out a taser?
Yeah, like that was my point. Like, that's why I was talking to them, because it's a joke. It's literally a joke. Like, we have 15 players out here skating, playing a hockey game. We're having fun. We're living life.
The Calgary police released a statement basically saying it wasn't their fault. The officers acted totally normally. It's totally normal to pull a taser on a young kid who just happened to be playing hockey. That's what they say, at least. Strangely enough, when I was leaving the rink after interviewing Ocean, the Calgary Police Service doubled down and flew a helicopter over the site, circling the children, toddlers, and parents who were just having fun on a Saturday afternoon, intimidating Calgarians. It made me wonder if I was in Calgary or if I was in Hong Kong. The mainstream media totally botched the coverage of this story. Whether you watch CTV or Global News or the CBC, they never mentioned once that the Calgary Police Service pulled a taser on this kid, that they kneed him in the gut several times, in the hip several times. They never mentioned once that they handcuffed the kid and threw him in the back of a cop car. The mainstream media doesn't care about this story. They want to protect the police. They want to protect the narrative, and they want to make sure that you have no idea what is going on in your backyard. Would you say that the amount of force that they used on you was reasonable? Was it excessive? I mean, I think I know the answer, but
yeah, no.
In your own words.
Yeah, excessive. Like, it was crazy. Like, I was so shocked. Like, I came out here to play hockey, and I got arrested for playing hockey. Like, I'm gonna have kids one day, I'm gonna tell my kids that I got arrested for playing hockey. Like, that just sounds nuts. Mm-hmm. Like, there's murders happening in this world, there's rape, there's sex trafficking, there's all these different things, like really bad things that are happening in this world, and we're getting punished to play hockey, playing sports outside.
Yeah.
And like, that's just ridiculous. Like, she told me that she was gonna arrest me, and she asked for my name. I didn't give her my name because I just thought it was really dumb for being arrested for playing hockey, and I just thought there's no point of giving her my name. Like, it wasn't even worth that. Like,
I've refused to give the police my name on many occasions,
yeah,
and I don't think it's something that you're obligated to do. But the police officer, one of the females, the blonde one, was swearing quite furiously at you. Do you think that that was professional? Do you think that was like, what was your reaction when you heard a police officer cussing you out?
Down on the ground. Down on the ground. Why are you guys? Dude, you guys just need to. Why are you guys grabbing?
Hey, orcs.
Not pulling. Okay. Ocean, get on the ground.
Ocean.
Get on the ground. Why are you guys? Get on the ground. Right now.
Ocean.
Guys, please, why are you on the ground before I taser you? Ocean. Right now. Why are you tasering?
Police officers they're supposed to be taking care of us. They're supposed to be taking care of Calgary here. They're supposed to be good role models. They're here to protect us. I was playing hockey, and I thought I was getting harassed. I thought it was a little too much. Everything that went down on Thursday I thought was absolutely crazy. I didn't do anything. I just stood there, and I was just getting attacked. Had my hands behind my back, asked why I was getting arrested, and she said I broke a Public Health Act or health, I don't know what you call it, but she didn't even explain it to me. Like, there was no explanation, like, she didn't even show it to me, like, nothing, you know?
It seemed like almost they didn't even know what the public health orders were.
Yeah,
like
that's why they didn't tell me.
Yeah.
I think they did it. And that's why my question was, like, how are these people cops?
So they pulled out a taser on a kid playing hockey.
Yeah.
I think people are quite concerned that that's something that's happening in Calgary.
Yeah, I think that is concerning. When you're playing hockey and you're getting arrested to play hockey, I think that is concerning. I think there's a lot of problems with that. It just shows what police, how some policemen are in this world. It shows how gross these laws are to separate, control. Like we're social beings. Like we're talking here. Like this is what we do. Like this is life. We play with each other, and we're just separating each other. And it's the full control system. It's like, where's my freedom? You know?
How did this make your? I mean, your family's been featured in the news before. Actually, this isn't your first rodeo. How does this make your mom feel? Someone who can't really, go yell and scream at the police herself. How does it make her feel?
She thinks this is embarrassing. Like, she was pissed. I mean, from how the cops were treating me, and like I understand that she's my mom. She's always gonna want to be protected, and she just kind of thinks the same way as me. Like it's embarrassing. It's been 9 months with all this COVID stuff, and it's killing people. Like it's making people depressed. Like you're not gonna stop me from playing hockey at the outdoor rink. You're not gonna stop me from hanging out with my buddies.
Great.
It's just, that's not fair to me.
Yeah. Keep in mind, he was actually the only person on the ice when the police decided to draw their taser gun. It was a crazy story, and the response was huge. Even ex-NHL players weighing in on this story, others saying that it was a massive disgrace, that Calgary should be ashamed of itself. We've put together a little bit of a website to help Ocean, and that's exactly what the name is, actually. You can go to helpocean.ca, and you can sign our letter of condemnation to the Calgary Police Service, demanding that they withdraw charges that they've levied against Ocean. Now, Ocean says that he's going to retain a lawyer separate from our Fight the Fines campaign, and we wish him all the best. These criminal charges are serious charges that should never have been laid against him in the first place. For Rebel News, I'm Cian Bexty.
What do you think of that? I just am on the helpocean.ca page right now. Looks like we have 12,927 signatures. Justin, if you want to show that on the screen, that's quite impressive, given that we only put that video up yesterday. And our goal was 10,000. I didn't even know. I just checked it because I just was watching the video along with you. Can you send a quick note to Sarah and ask her to increase the goal? I think we should aim for 20,000. If we got 12,927 in not even one day, I think this video went up like mid-afternoon yesterday. We got 13,000 almost signatures. Let's pump the goal up to 20,000. That's incredible. How many views does that video have? If you want to click on the title of that YouTube vid, that'll tell us. Good work by Cian for getting a one-on-one with Ocean. I don't know if he's got 109,000 views. That's pretty good for one day. Just to let you know, we did offer him 2 lawyers, actually. One to fight the ridiculous criminal charge against him, and then the other to go on the hunt to sue those extreme cops for all sorts of violations, including assaults. They're bad actors, those cops, and the fact that the city is doubling down on that. So we have made that offer to Ocean. It's the same offer we basically make to everybody. We just made a very similar arrangement with Corporal Joshua Walker. You might recall he's the gentleman who was pounded on by security guards at a mall in Newmarket, Ontario. So we basically take care of all the legals through crowdfunding, and that's our side. And whatever the upside is, if there would be a civil suit or whatever, could go to So if he wants to help, it's there. I understand he's got a lot of stress and a lot of voices in his ears, but we stand ready to help him. Oh, look, there you go. We're getting more signatures right now. So we'll do the journalism. If he wants the legal help, he'll get it. Unfortunately, there is no shortage of people who actually really, really need our legal help. I think we're getting 10 to 20 new cases a day coming in our fightthefines.com website, and I'm not even talking about our UK and Australia versions of those. It's almost overwhelming, but we've grown our legal team, and we're intaking them, and we're doing our best. We're trying to make a difference. I think we are. I'm going to catch up on some super chats because it's already 12:36 and I haven't even read one. Let me just explain what super chats are. I think everybody knows. They're a way to make your chat stand out in the chat window there. And we like to read them as a sign of, hey, thanks, because YouTube actually gives us 70% of the revenue, which we need because YouTube has generally demonetized us. And I say again that tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow? Tomorrow's our last live stream of the year. So, and for today's live stream, I understand that the Ontario Premier, Doug Ford, is going to have a news conference starting at 1. So we might actually run this live stream long. And we'll just pipe in that Doug Ford thing if he's on time and if it's interesting. Otherwise, we'll say goodbye. Pardon me. So I'm going to try and whip through these super chats, okay? And then we've got more videos. We've got, it's going to make you mad. We've got a bunch of craziness in Calgary. That's my hometown, Calgary. And I grew up thinking I live in the freest city in Canada. It would be like being born in like Midland, Texas or something. It's free, And now they have some of the worst behavior in the country. That crazy taser video is one. In fact, let's just show one now. Can you show the Freedom Rally arrests? You tell me, is this sensible policing? Is this sensible policing? Take a look at this. What the hell? That was a head there, crushing his head into the pavement. What? And did you see what happened? They did that several times. So the first thing, they pull a guy up there, push his face into the ground, shout at him, and then let him go. That first guy, they crushed him and then they let him go. Like they pull him up, they pull him up there. Yeah, they drag him, scream at him, assault him, batter him, and then they let this guy go. And then they did it again to that other guy who they smushed his head against the concrete. What the actual hell is going on with the Calgary's police service? And you can't write this off to a couple of, chip on their shoulder gender quota cops like the ones who drew their tasers on Ocean. This is a pack of cops. there's probably 10 cops in the field of view there, probably many more. So they had senior level commanders. They didn't have the micro 110-pound lady cops in this one. These were the real brawny guys. What was that even? Shout at a guy, bring him up, smush him, drag him, shout at him, rough him up, let him go. Is that policing? What the actual hell is that? Can you call up the tweet I just sent you? I read this morning that over the weekend, Montreal police handed out $400,000 in fines in an anti-lockdown rally. And I wrote, Canadian police generally have the respect and trust and even love of the people. It's the cumulative reputation of a million small acts of excellent policing. Like, you have over time 1 million little interactions between the cops and you. You build up a reputation. And now chiefs are throwing that into a bonfire to serve clueless politicians. Police have turned against the people. Would you agree with me on that? Would you agree with me? And this is coming from a guy who, for the first 45 years of my life, I wasn't just pro-cop. I was blindly pro-cop. It's hard to do now. Let's get through some super chats. Solid as a b-ball, $2. Thoughts on Brian Lilly? Is he a flip-flop? I don't follow him, so I don't know what flip-flop you're referring to. Do you know what he's referring to? I just don't know what you mean. Ray W., £5. Have a great holiday all at Rebel, and thank you. Thank you, Ray. Lee for Japan, 1,220 yen. Hello, I have been unsuccessful to stay up till noon Eastern Time. Japanese translation of China virus is ready. Would you please give me official permission to contact publishers in Japan? Go Rebel News. Sure. I mean, let's come to some agreement. If I've missed an email from you, I apologize. Can you send an email to Ezra@rebelnews.com? Ezra@rebelnews.com, and just give me basic terms. I mean, if you went to all that effort to translate it into Japanese, if you think there's a market for it in Japan, I'm sure we can come to arrangements on favorable terms for you. It sounds like you've done a lot of work there, and if you believe there's a market for it, sure. I think the book is really Canada focused, but thank you for your effort. And just send a note to Ezra at Rebel News, and I'll have a friend of mine reply to you. But thanks, and I'm sorry if I've missed your email so far. Harry Friesen, $4. Hi, Harry. Thanks for that. Ant Crazy, $5. As a PSW, that video from LTC. So I think PSW is social worker. LTC, long-term care in England, is heartbreaking. I hope the elder got treated seriously. Yeah, I don't think so, though. Fraser McBurney, $10. I've tried over and over to send Dr. Vernon Coleman's video by email. What is Outlook email doing? I can post it on other YouTube sites. Are they censoring me? Big Brother is watching. I don't know, but typically it's not a good idea to try and send a file more than 10 megabytes in an email. So maybe just try to upload a link to it. That's probably the better way to send emails. That's my experience. MEDW, $5. I hate to think what would have happened if that cop tasered Ocean with skates on while standing on snow and ice. Would have been an absolute disaster. Could be. I don't know enough about tasers. I mean, he was probably wearing his hockey gear and hockey equipment. I didn't take a close look at it. He might have just had a sweater on, but maybe he had some padding on. Maybe the taser would have been ineffective. There was one moment in the video where he sort of skated away on the ice patch for a second, and I thought, why didn't he just skate away? I mean, he's a really good skater. It would have been absolute comedy gold to see him scoot. Like, he's a really good skater. Like I think he's professional level quality skater. To see him, that would have been you know that Benny Hill soundtrack. Like, you could have some, and you would play it in fast motion, like sped up, of these cops slipping and sliding and tasering. Hey, you kid, come back here! Like, that would have been absolute comedy gold. Except there's nothing to laugh about, is there? Lionel de Grand Pré, $5. Call it what it is. They are two bona fide quota hires. I think they are. Calgary Police is super woke. That's the thing about conservative places like Calgary, is that the fancy people try and distinguish themselves from the normals, from the deplorables, by going extra woke. You know, if you think Calgary's bad, Lethbridge, which is a smaller town in southeast Alberta, southern Alberta. It's a little bit east, I think. It's even crazier. The University of Lethbridge is such a left-wing spot, and you're thinking, how did that happen? You know, it's in the middle of ranching country, Christian Mormon country, southern Alberta, hardworking farmers and ranchers. How do you get this left-wing university there? Well, the answer is it's all these fancy pants who want to show they're different from the regulars around them. So as a way of distancing themselves socially and aesthetically, they say, oh, I'm a liberal. Oh, you're a liberal. I'm a New Democrat. You're a New Democrat. I'm a Black Lives Matter activist. So it's a social climbing coping tactic. All these professors who wish they were University of Calgary or University of Toronto, but are stuck in University of Lethbridge, rebel against their situation that way. That's my theory. When you have left-wing wokeism in a conservative town. Kevin Tennant, $2. Imagine if a young Wayne Gretzky treated that way. Yeah, well, anybody. Christina Pavlovska, just absolutely unbelievable. I presume you're talking about Ocean. Yeah, well, yeah, that's everywhere. Jay, $10, helpocean.ca. Yeah, I signed. I hope you did too. Susan Dahmer, $5, go play hockey. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't be healthier. You're outside. I don't think there's even been ever a recorded case of the virus being transmitted in a hockey game in Canada. I don't think there's been a single case, let alone outdoors. Like that, I don't even know if that's possible. Jack R, $10, new strains of corona identified. How many new vaccines do we have to take now? Trudeau, Menchie, who's that? And most conservative politicians are tyrannical communist cowards. They can have my vaccine for free. Yeah, I mean, so the virus has a recovery rate of 99-ish%. So I'm taking the vaccine, which is not through the usual testing protocols. I'm taking a Y again. You know what? I don't know if you can find it. We showed the nurse the other day who fainted. She took the vaccine, but I don't want that. Alex Berenson, Berenson on Twitter, he was tweeting about how many, I think it was over 1,000 people already had significant side effects in the States. There's like 1,200. If you can find that, I mean, don't spend a lot of time on it, but it was quite something. Jay, $10, thank you. Proud Boys Calgary, $7. My city feels less free this week. Weren't there months of international riots over similar behavior? Oh, you're talking about Black Lives Matter riots against police brutality. Yeah, when I saw that guy's bald head being smushed against the pavement in Calgary, that made me think of George Floyd, or Floyd George, whatever his name was. Oh, let's take a look. Here's the tweet that Justin found. As of Friday afternoon, so this was posted on Saturday. As of Friday afternoon, the Centers for Disease Control had already learned of 3,150 people who'd received the vaccine had already been, quote, unable to perform normal daily activities, unable to work, or required care from doctor or healthcare professional. And then there's a link. That figure supposedly represented about 1.5% of the 215,000 vaccine recipients. Not really, though. Vaccinations increased exponentially last week. On Friday alone, 127,000 people were vaccinated. Unless people had and reported adverse events immediately, the denominator is far lower than 215,000. The numerator will have a lag too, but the other way. If the lag is 1 day, almost 4% of the first 88,000 recipients had a serious adverse event after the first shot of the Pfizer vaccine. Remember, the Moderna vaccine is worse and the second shot is much worse. Also of note, hospitalizations or physician's care are included here but not broken out separately. They should be. So let me translate, if I may. And that's, I think, a former New York Times writer who's been a skeptic on the lockdowns. He's saying that there is a strikingly high side effects rate, enough that people can't go to work, can't do normal things. He's suggesting it may be as high as 4%. Therese Pollard, $5. My exempt button works in Prince George, BC. Thank you. I love my mask exemption button, and I'm trying to convince more people to use it. The number one reason, I'm not wearing it right now, the number one reason to wear it is it preempts things. Anyone who's looking to scold you, 90% of them are just casual amateur scolders. Do you know what I mean? They haven't read the rules. They're not particularly smart or well-informed or brave. They just have this itch to scold you. So if they see your button, can you put it on the screen just to show people what I'm talking about? If they see that you're wearing a mask exemption button, it's like garlic cloves to the Dracula or something. It wards them off because they think, oh, this guy is better prepared to deal with me than I am. If someone says a mask exemption, oh, I forgot there's exemptions. Oh, he probably has thought about it. He might even be ready for this. Yeah, so that's the button. And if you scroll down, you can get this at maskexemption.ca. And if you, what's so handy is you scroll down, you see all these different towns and stuff. Like the other day, I was on a plane yesterday. So click on, like if you click on, we need to update. Can you send a note to Sarah to update this page? Because we have more, I think we have several pages. But yeah, click on airport there. Scroll down. So it shows you the requirements, shows you the exemptions, and it links to Transport Canada, stuff like that. Yeah, so I literally was flying yesterday. Now, I didn't need to refer to the mask exemption, but I know my mask exemption rules pretty well. The funny thing is I've never actually had to roll them out. Actually, I did for like 1 second when I was in Niagara Falls a few weeks ago. But you just wear that button and people sort of back off. And not in a bad way. They just say, oh, this guy knows more than me. Or, oh, this guy's ready to talk about this, and I can't just do a drive-by. Put on your mask. So, you know, here I am. I mean, I'm not out and about all the time. But that mask exemption button has done more for my mental health, has done more for my coping and for my happiness level in this pandemic than anything. I go to the Sobeys. I go to 7-Eleven, I go to wherever with that mask exemption button, and no one hassles me. Maybe it's because I look, you know, like I'm busy or something. You know, there's a guy at Sobeys whose job is to say, where's your mask? He says, where's your mask? I say, I'm exempt, and we're done. And he says, okay, that's it. I gotta tell you, you gotta get one of those mask exemption buttons. It increases my confidence because I know I'm not gonna be hassled. And that's the thing, I'm waiting for this big hassle to come. I'm ready, I got my little speech ready, and it has not come. It has not come. Now maybe that's a credit to people. I'm going to Banff, and I know they have this, I don't know if we have a Banff rule there, but I looked at the Banff bylaws, tons of exemptions. So I'm going to Banff. I know the law, I think I probably know it better than, we should update it with the Banff bylaws if it doesn't have it. For example, in Banff, if you're drinking a coffee, Banff has a rule that they have a mask law for the Banff Avenue. I read the bylaw. But if you're just drinking a coffee like this, as you walk down the street, you're exempt. Well, what a lovely way to spend the day. And you're walking in Banff, you got a hot chocolate or a coffee. You're exempt. So basically, you could look at it as, it's not really a mask bylaw, it's a buy a coffee bylaw. And I wonder, and they have some mask ambassadors. I look forward to meeting them. And if these mask ambassadors, hi there. Oh, could I see your credentials? Mask ambassador? Do I call you sir? Do I call you the honorable? You know. So I look forward to meeting this, because everyone knows I'm famously polite, very famous. Diplomatic. I mean, you heard me talk about Brian Lilly today. I mean, you could just, I'm just so smooth diplomat. So I'm going to meet these mask ambassadors, and we're going to have a little summit. I'm going to be an ambassador to them. They'll be an ambassador to me. We'll have this, and we'll sign like a treaty or something. No, I'm kidding around. I know the law in Banff. If you're walking down the street with a coffee, tea, hot chocolate, whatever, you're cool. No mask needed. And I look forward to doing a little teaching. Professor in the house. We'll see. We'll see. Flat Earth Data, $7 with the Dreyfus Affair, Part 2 in the U.S., Justin calling the election. Will the Army prevail to restore order to the Constitution? Where's the Army? No. We have courts, we have parliaments, we have laws. It's not an Army thing. Frank Dano, $5. Where is the courts? And are we going to get justice against the tyranny politicians? Well, I hope so. I hope so. I know there's some lawsuits afoot, but the judges are being quite deferential to the politicians. Anshuman Srivastava. Can you please talk about the upcoming lockdown to be announced by Doug Ford? Sick and tired of this when the World Health Organization has said lockdowns don't work. Well, that's the thing. First of all, the World Health Organization, they say this, they say the opposite the next day. But they have said lockdowns are a blunt tool that don't work, and the super strict lockdowns in the UK are insane. And in 3 minutes, apparently, Justin, you're going to keep your eye peeled for Doug Ford. So I'm going to sit in this chair a little longer. I think that Doug Ford, that's the Premier of Ontario, I think his press conference is set to start in a couple minutes. So when that does, Justin's going to tell me in my ear and we'll pipe it in on this channel. And you're ready for that? You found the feed and all that? He's looking for it. I won't bug him. Viking Insane, $2. Police who act poorly should face public scrutiny, obviously. $2. Laser blasters are illegal in Lethbridge. Ha! Yeah, you're talking about that girl who was dressed up as a stormtrooper or something, and the police SWAT team came out. It was a disgrace. Scott Heaney, $5. Ezra, what do you believe is the end game? Your honest opinion? Well, it's not a secret. They talk about it. I mean, don't talk about the Great Reset. Well, why shouldn't I talk about it? Justin Trudeau talks about it. The World Economic Forum talks about it. China talks about it. Why shouldn't I talk about it? Depress the American and UK and Western economies, strengthen the Chinese economy, strengthen the political power of non-accountable supranational organizations like the United Nations, of which the World Health Organization is a part, erode local sovereignty, erode democratic accountability, erode the functioning of parliaments, erode freedom of speech. Can you not see it? And push everything towards the global tech companies, Amazon.com, make your entire life now filter through the tech companies, whether it's in entertainment, work, shopping, communication. Can you not see where we're going on that? I mean, it's not I always say, don't go for the conspiracy theories. Don't cook things up. You don't need to. Just look at what's out there, provable, sourceable right now. Never follow a conspiracy theory. What, are you bored with reality? Is reality not dangerous enough? Albert's Street, $5. Caution needed. Our detained Canadians in China need a Christmas card. Please send to the Chinese embassy. Yeah, well, they don't believe in Christmas at the Chinese embassy. Benny B, the dog Beausoleil, $20. I was wondering maybe you should hook the D train up with that Richmond Hill counselor Carmine because he did video on BitChute, kind of like what you did out west when you went to a hospital to prove it was empty. I think that's a video that David Menzies did, right? I actually haven't watched that yet. I'm embarrassed. I'm behind on my videos. Velvet Williamson, $15. This anarchy is caused by Trudeau and his Great Reset. He's bankrupting the country on purpose to reset the central bank. What can we do as a people to change what's happening? Well, how about asking your conservative opposition MPs to maybe stop hitting the snooze button and maybe wake up and say something? It's in their job description. Official opposition. You have the office. Now will you please oppose, or did you just want the office? Jack R. Nenshi misspelled on earlier super chat. Okay. The Great Awakening, $2. No one wants to mask debate. Ezra Levan, fair enough. Addie G, $21. Would you fly in a new type of plane built 10 times faster than any other plane in history with little or no testing done beforehand? Well, this is exactly what people are doing with this vaccine. Yeah, and I'm not anti-vaccine as a philosophy. My kids are vaccinated. But this new vaccine, untested, for a disease that does not kill kids, yeah, you got, I mean, and imagine being a pregnant mom taking this thing. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Stephen, $10. If you want to pull out all the stops fighting a mask exemption, go to Chapters. I was denied entry Saturday. I argued with manager for a bit. They forced me to go outside to check out. Yeah, there's some companies for sure that are not obeying the law. All right, it's 1:01. Are you keeping your eyes peeled? Okay. So, as I sort of thought, Doug Ford's press conference is late. We'll hang around a few minutes, but first I want to show you a Calgary mall. Now, this was recorded by someone who's actually a follower of mine on Twitter, and I wrote back and I said, why did you obey? And I wasn't trying to be mean, I was just asking the question. why did you obey? Maybe there's a good reason, like I don't like to fight, or I didn't want police to be called, or I was ready to go anyways, or the video, like there's a lot of good reasons to why didn't you fight. Not everyone's built for fighting, but would you watch this video taken apparently in Calgary at a mall? Take a look.
You're not allowed to drink inside the mall.
For the reason the food court is also closed.
Say again, sorry?
You can't film either.
Sorry, I can't understand.
So we have to go to the food court if we want to drink?
For the reason the food court is also closed.
I don't understand. I can't hear what you're
For
saying.
this reason the food court is also closed.
So where are we supposed to drink our drinks when we get here?
But I just got my drink from right there. So why is it open then if you're not allowed to drink drinks?
It's just a mall policy. This is what we are told. This is the reason that food court is also closed.
Okay, thank you.
So understand what happened here. It's not like the case of Corporal Walker, Joshua Walker, in Newmarket, Ontario at the Upper Canada Mall, where they bought food at the food court and their problem was they sat down to eat it. And I remind you that Corporal Walker's girlfriend is pregnant. So yeah, you know what? You ever been in the company of a pregnant mom? When they want something to eat, they want something to eat, whether it's pickles or ice cream or whatever, that just comes with being pregnant. Pregnant mom wants to eat, she gonna eat. And you just bought food at a food court, it's not a surprise that she's gonna eat. And you know what, you're preggers, it's not a surprise you wanna sit down. Imagine being a mall that has a food court open, but doesn't allow you to sit down. So that was outrageous. But at least they said, well, you buy it here, but don't sit down and eat it. It's a stupid rule. It's doubly stupid when it's a pregnant mom, but at least that's the rule. This Calgary mall cops are the lowest on the totem pole, aren't they? Wasn't even saying what they said to Corporal Walker. This Calgary mall cop said, okay, you bought the coffee at the mall. You're not sitting down, but you can't even drink it. That is such a pack of lies. There is no rule to that effect. That is so stupid. But I said to the person who tweeted it, I mean, I don't know if you can have my tweet handy, I said, the rule is stupid, but why did you comply? I can guess the answer. Because I didn't want to waste time. Because I didn't want the police to come and tase me, bro. Because it wasn't worth the hassle. Because I was ready to go home. Because I'm not a confrontational person. Because I didn't think of the words in the time. Those are all real answers. But I find them very frustrating. Yeah. All right, my friends, let me just check my notes here. I think we've covered all the things we wanted to cover, right? Oh, we have, you know what? I want to play a video. It's about 2 minutes long. Can I end on an inspirational note? I saw this video that was published by the United States Space Force. What's the Space Force? Here's a little video that the Space Force put together. It's about 2 minutes long. Take a look.
Today, space is essential not only to our way of life, it's absolutely critical to the modern way of war. GPS, ATMs, cell phones, gas pumps, traffic lights, power grids, guided missiles, surveillance, RPAs, ground combat control. There's no such thing as a day without space operations. You just don't see them. Earth is only half the battle. Cyber attacks and jamming of our satellites. Microsatellites that can create a debris field. At 17,000 miles an hour, a piece of metal the size of a coin can be weaponized. Now is the time for a military branch with a clear and singular focus on space. A military branch that protects the hopes and dreams of America and our way of life as the space domain becomes more and more contested. It's time for another giant leap. The United States Space Force is being built from the brightest minds across the space operations of the Air Force, our joint services, and the private sector. We aren't just getting ready for the near future, we're getting ready for the 22nd century. When our enemies ask, what if? We will have an answer. When foreign powers can build bases on the dark side of the moon, when private companies are inventing a new economy beyond our planet, we need to stay one step ahead of the future. And the future is where we'll make history. We will fight in an environment with no up or down, no left or right, where there are no borders and nowhere to hide. Our Space Force is defending our country, here on Earth and wherever our mission takes us. As commerce and exploration expand, we will imagine the unimaginable, anticipate the inconceivable, and prepare for the impossible. We won't just think outside the box. We'll think outside the atmosphere, in one of the most challenging environments ever known.
That's pretty cool. You know, that's a little bit inspirational, isn't it? The sky is not the limit. I like that phrase. It's 1:08. I just hear that the Premier's press conference is going to be delayed a few minutes. I don't want to stick around for it. So let me read the last couple of Super Chats, and then I'm going to leave you with a dog video. Stephen, $10. If you want to pull out all the stops fighting a mask exemption, go to chapter... Oh, sorry, I read that one already. I saw another Super Chat come in. The Great Awakening. Enemies have built bases on the dark side of the moon. I don't think that's what they said. I think they said what happens when they do, or if they do. And I think the only people who have that ability right now is the People's Republic of China, the communists. I don't think Russia really has the horsepower to do that. I think China. Anshuman Srivastava. How many freedoms do we lose before people wake up? Well, you're so right. And it's like that old saying, you throw it's sort of a cruel saying and it's gross, but it's a metaphor. You throw a frog into boiling water, he jumps right out, but you put him in a pan and you slowly heat it up, he'll boil alive. It's a gross thing, don't boil the frog, don't do that. But the metaphor is we accept things gradually that we wouldn't take as a shock. Remember when they said 15 days to flatten the curve, 2 weeks to flatten the curve? Hey, we're all in this together, just 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. Well, we're going to be at a year pretty soon, and they're getting harder and more ridiculous. It's not 2 weeks. It's the new normal, so they say. I say never. I say it's not normal. We'll do our best to fight back here. I think we're done. Thanks, everybody. Oh, I see one last one. Julie B., $5. Sneaky B can play hockey on a closed rink supported by Brampton Police, but young people playing hockey on a rink outdoors causes tasers to be drawn. What a great point. You're talking about Patrick Brown, sneaky Patrick Brown, and Brampton. And Julie B., History Channel put out an article January 3rd, 2019, that China made an historic landing on the dark side of the moon. The article was by Sarah Pruitt. Okay, thank you very much. I accept that they landed on the dark side of the moon. I actually think I did know that. I think the phrase was, what if they have a base on the dark side of the moon? I didn't quite catch the exact wording of that. Did you hear? No, okay. Yeah, I know they landed on the dark side of the moon, which is quite a feat, but they don't have a base there. Imagine if China built a base on the moon. I don't know what actual military, economic, commercial power that would have. But oh my God, would that ever be moral and political and propaganda, and would that ever show the world who the new boss is? You don't think they know that? If I was China, and I'm not, that's worth $10 billion. Have a Chinese moon base. When was the last time America set foot on the moon? I think it was almost 50 years ago. I think it was 1972 or 73. I don't think America's had a human on the moon in nearly 50 years. And frankly, I don't even know if we could do it now. I think China's going to want to do that. All right, it's 1:12. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to play for you a dog video. And then if Doug Ford takes to the press conference, we'll play that as a separate live stream. I'm just not going to stick around for that. So let me say goodbye to you now. Thanks for all the super chats, everybody. This is our second last live stream for the year. Tomorrow will be the last one. I'll say goodbye now. Thanks for your support. And here's a dog video selected by Justin. See ya.
Get it, dude.